This time on Fox Can Fix It, I'm finally getting to my leaking power steering hoses. This should be a pretty easy job. It is 3 fittings and a hose clamp. I've got plenty of power steering fluid, it looks like. Hopefully some of it's still good. Well, let's get to it. This is the back side of your power steering pump. This is the high pressure hose. That curves and goes down here to this fitting right here. Here is your low pressure return line. Low pressure return line comes down around here and goes to the other fitting. Our fittings that we need to get to: 1, 2. Third fitting is 3, and the hose clamp is right there. What I think we'll do first is probably spray everything off because it's disgusting. Okay, let's clean the surfaces we're going to get. What we're going to try to use first is 5/8 line wrench. It's closed off in a little bit more of a C shape than your standard wrenches. Helps it grip better and not round everything off, which I still may do. These are at an angle, so there's no good way to attack these except from right in this vicinity. So it appears my best choice is going to be to go through here to grab this wrench through the wheel well. I know everything's in the way. I can't really move it all out of the way. That's just the way this is going to have to go. Hopefully you can see me grabbing it. These shouldn't be on there horribly tight. That one broke loose pretty easy. So we're going to take this one all the way off. There we go. This is the return line. I actually had it backwards when I was pointing it out originally. So closest to the steering wheel and the rag joint is the return line. And don't worry about high pressure. I know one is a high pressure hose, but it is only high pressure when the truck is running. It is not under pressure when it is not. It's just a big leak, which is what we're causing right now. I've just got a plastic or rubber plug from other hoses over the years, so I'm just going to slip over the end. I'm going to slip it just over the end like that, so it doesn't leak the rest of that power steering fluid out, which will make it easier to bleed if, stuff's still in there. I think, there we go. I think we got it broken loose. I think that probably got it. Yes, it did. That definitely got it. All right, so that one is our high pressure line. That's actually this right there. But I think we can get it. We'll get a small persuader. Okay. That was a bit too large of a hammer for the job, but it also got the job done. So, was it too large? Oh, there. Man, that was really on there. This fitting should spin on here, and it's not because it's so corroded. Now, you might be asking, why don't I just cut this pressure hose so I don't have to spin the whole thing? If it turns out that this thing leaks just horribly, I'll be able to put it back on. So I don't want to cut my high pressure hose for no reason. Last resort, we hold this line in place and spin the truck around. But I don't really want to do that. This truck's kind of heavy. Hey-o. All right. Line is off. And on the end of this line, it's flattened out, but there is an O-ring. Make sure that when you put the new line on, the O-ring comes with the hose. It's in a smaller bag inside it. Put this O-ring back on, otherwise it's going to leak something fierce. On the other end, it's a flared fitting. So this one does not require an O-ring, but double flare right there, just like a brake line. One thing left is a hose clamp right there. And move this out of the way because it doesn't have to be there anymore. Okay. high pressure line. This is our brand new O-ring. It slips over the end. Ta-da, like that. There we go. That's a smaller hex, although it's the same size thread. So I believe it's a 1/2 inch. Don't snug it down all the way. That's going to be after we get all the fittings on, because you want to be able to turn this a little bit. That's mostly there. Pump side. Pump side's going right on here. Make sure you get the O-ring in there and it stays in that slot. And with this nice new one that actually spins on the line like it's supposed to, I don't have to turn the world to get that to come off. Okay. It's counterintuitive how this is supposed to fit, because this needs to come off first to get to this one. But yeah, this has to go underneath here. So it's, I would say it's a good use for the term bass-ackwards on how this was set up. So we're just going to thread this the rest of the way on. And then we'll take that rubber hose off the top. Before I tighten this the rest of the way up, I'm going to go ahead and swap the hoses over. I hate cutting these before I know if the new one's going to work. But low pressure, I'm not as concerned. There's no good way to do this. I cannot get a good angle on me or this hose. This is going to be just a bloodbath, probably. Ugh. Nope. Fairly successful. Now I can get this hose out of the way. Gives us a little bit more room. I think we can finish tightening up these lines, and then we'll go back and get the hose clamp very last. That's good. Now the 1/2 inch. Okay. Those are tight. If you really want, you can use a 1/4 inch socket on this. Some people hate using flat blades, but on something like this, I really don't want to overdo it. And if I don't have the torque advantage of a ratchet, it makes it much harder for me to overdo it. So I'll take a flat blade screwdriver for this one. Alrighty. Tight, 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 tight. We didn't lose too much fluid. We've got it running again. And here's our 2 fittings. There's no leaks there. Here's our top pressure fitting, no leaks there. And return hose, right here, no leaks. So we're all set. This is back together, no leaks. All right, that's gonna do it for today. Power steering is fixed for now. Let's see what breaks next. See you next time.